Alright, it is Friday, January 18, 2019 at 5:18 p.m. Alright, let's take a look at the weather. Winter storm Harper. Heavy snow will blanket an expansive area through Sunday night. Accumulating sleet or ice is likely in some areas. This will lead to a number of travel problems through the weekend. This may also lead to power outages in some areas. A few severe thunderstorms are possible in the south. Alright. Plains near blizzard conditions are possible. Snow from Winter Storm Harper is currently spreading from the Rockies into the plains. Near blizzard conditions are possible in parts of the plains through Friday or early Saturday as winds increase. Some accumulating snow may fall as far south as northern Arkansas. Alright. The heaviest stripe of snow. While the exact placement of Winter Storm Harper's heaviest snow remains somewhat uncertain, a swath of the Ohio Valley and parts of New England appears poised to pile up the most of the snow accumulation in locations east of the Rockies. Parts of the swath will pick up over a foot of snow. Some locations in New York State and northern New England will exceed 24 inches of snow. Alright, here you go, the snowfall forecast from 1 to 3 inches up to 18 to 24 inches or 2 to 3 feet of snow in some of the Boston, Maine, and New York areas. Alright, increase Interstate 95 corridor at uncertain forecast. As often in the case of the snowstorms in the Northeast, Winter Storm Harper's most difficult forecast is along the heavily populated Interstate 95 corridor. Due to the general track of the storm center, precipitation is expected to change from snow to sleet to freezing rain to rain, then possibly back to freezing rain, sleet or snow once the colder air sweeps back in. How quickly those changeovers happen or how much wintry precipitation continues on the backside of the storm will determine how much snow and or ice occurs along the Interstate 95 corridor. In general, we expect lighter accumulations and quicker change of rain south of New York tri-state area, including Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C., in contrast with last week's winter storm Gia. Farther north, especially from the New York tri-state area to the Boston metro area, you could see large variation in snowfall from south to north. Higher snow totals could occur in cities along the Interstate 95 corridor, and colder air remains in place there. 4. Ice threat and power outage potential. Winter Storm Harper will also bring a zone of freezing rain and sleet from the Ohio Valley to New England this weekend. In some areas, this may lead to sufficient ice accumulations to make many roads, not just bridges and overpasses, slick, and may add a glaze of ice on top of previously fallen snow. The combination of enough ice and snow on trees and power lines, plus the added stress of strong winds, may lead to numerous power outages in these areas. Alright, so here you see chance of ice through Monday, low, medium, and high. The darker pinks are the high. And you see here from St. Louis to Indianapolis, Columbus, Cincinnati, Charleston, Pittsburgh, Roanoke, Washington, New York, Boston, and Bangor will be having these levels of ice. Alright, the cold follows and it will last. The coldest air of the season so far will plunge into much of the Midwest, South, and East, hot on Harper's heels. The bitter cold makes it more important for those who lose power to have an alternate source of heat. The quick drop in temperature could lead to a flash freeze and slippery travel in some areas, especially along the I-95 corridor. In fact, Winter Storm Harper is unleashing a major pattern change that would have been a mild first half of January to be a more persistent cold back end of the month, due in part to a weakening polar vortex around New Year's Day. Travel mess. Winter Storm Harper's widespread snow and ice will have major impact on the travel from Friday to the plains this weekend and the lower Midwest and Northeast. If you have travel plans in the affected areas, you should consider changing those plans. Even if heavier snow doesn't fall in the major Northeast cities, major delays are likely and some cancellation possible in hubs from Boston to Washington, D.C. Other affected airports outside of Northeast may see significant significant delays as well. These include Chicago, Indianapolis, and Kansas City. Roads will become increasingly hazardous by the weekend. Some roads may become impossible or impassable in the areas with heaviest snow and ice accumulation in the Northeast and Ohio Valley, or in areas where near blizzard conditions may occur in the plains. This is a severe threat. This low pressure system will also bring a threat of strong severe thunderstorm in parts of the south. Isolated strong and severe thunderstorms may develop Friday night from parts of eastern Texas and eastern Oklahoma into Arkansas, Louisiana, and western Mississippi. Damaging wind gusts, hail, and isolated tornadoes are possible. On Saturday, the threat for severe thunderstorms shifts eastward from eastern Louisiana into western Florida, as far north and southwestern Tennessee. Damaging wind gusts and an isolated tornado are the primary concerns. You see here parts of New Orleans, Jackson, Memphis, Tennessee, Mobile, Alabama, Montgomery, Tallahassee, and parts of Tampa, Florida have a possibility of severe weather. Alright, local heavy rainfall and the threat of flash flooding are also possible, especially from northern Alabama into eastern Kentucky on Saturday. Alright, guys. So please stay aware if you live in these areas of the East Coast and the South, that there's going to be severe snow, ice, and possibility of tornadoes for the South. Alright, here is the snow accumulation in the next 120 hours or 5 days. This is the areas of the East Coast and Midwest that are expected to have snow in the next 120 hours. Alright, let's take a look at the National Weather Service. There's winter storm warning for northern western Missouri, for southeastern South Dakota, southwestern Minnesota, and northwestern Iowa, for northeastern Illinois and northwestern Indiana and Chicago, for northern Ohio, for central Pennsylvania, for south central New York and northeastern Pennsylvania, for southern Maine and New Hampshire. These areas have winter storm warnings. And they also have winter weather advisories from northeastern Kansas, southeastern Missouri, central Kentucky, and southwestern Ohio and northern Kentucky. So the whole Midwest to the East Coast is in winter storm warning and winter weather advisory. Alright, let's take a look at the full screen radar right now. There is rain and snow in parts of Northern California, Washington, and Oregon, and parts of Seattle having rain there right now. There's also rain and snow happening in the Denver, Pueblo area. Close to Wichita, there's rain and snow mix. There is snow happening in Des Moines, in Aberdeen, in Minneapolis, and Milwaukee. There's also snow happening in Rochester, Buffalo, and Toronto area, and upper state New York, and in Maine. There's also rain happening by Houston, Texas, and some rain happening close to Savannah, Georgia. Alright, let's take a look at the current temperatures. It is pretty cold. You can see the cold snap happening in the midwestern states in the north. This is the cold front that's coming from the north. Is going to bring all the ice and snow to the midwestern states and parts of the East Coast. There's 50 in Washington, 38 in Seattle, 52 in California, 58, 62, 63, and 61 in California, the southern part of California, 62 degrees in Texas, 65 and 70 in southern Texas, 61 degrees in Louisiana, and 63 degrees in the southern part of Louisiana, 70 in northern Jacksonville area, 70 and 74 degrees in Miami, 56 degrees in Georgia, 62 degrees in South Carolina, 49, 58, and 50 degrees in North Carolina, 44 degrees in Virginia, 38 degrees in Massachusetts, 29 degrees in Vermont, and 19 in the northern part of Maine, and 28 degrees in the southern part of Maine. Alright guys, stay safe out there. Please stay aware this weekend with all the harsh weather, and also that eclipse coming on the 20th. My birthday's coming up on the 25th, so happy birthday to me, and hit like and subscribe, and see you guys next time.